Hi, boys and girls. Today we're going to read Chapter 4, Toby's Story. Do you remember what happened? Remember, Toby just met Tyler and Grandpa? So let's see what happens in Chapter 4. The boy stood up, still holding me, and carried me securely in his arm as he and Mona went inside. I dozed while he took me down the hallway, around the corner, and into a new room. "Hi, Granddad," he said. "Look, they've got a dog here." And he put me on the bed. I was still sleepy, but I perked up to meet yet another new person. This was an old man sitting on the edge of the bed in a room with boxes on the floors and a suitcase open on a chair. "Well, hello there," the new person said as I crawled onto his lap, the better to sniff at his soft shirt and worn, wrinkled hands. He smelled of tobacco and soap, and he was chewing on something minty. I licked his chin, which was covered with gray whiskers. I'd not met a person with fur on his face just like that, just like I had. "He's Toby," said Mona. He was standing by the door, holding her hands together in front of her and shifting her weight from foot to foot. "That's Mona," the boy said. "She's training Toby. He's going to be a therapy dog." "Glad to hear it," the old man said. "Nothing like a dog to make a place feel like home." His voice was low and raspy, but kind. "A person who trains dogs has to have a good heart," he said, looking keenly at Mona. "Tyler doesn't have a girlfriend, you know. Do you have a boyfriend?" "Oh, Grandpa." Mona got even hotter than she had outside, and her face turned a different shade. "Granddad," the boy groaned. That must be the new person's name. I decided he was Granddad, and the boy was Tyler. "No harm in asking," Granddad said. "You're embarrassing her, and me." "Geez, Granddad. Look, Mona, this box has Granddad's trophies. He used to be a track star in college. I could put them up on this bookshelf. You want me to?" "Long, long ago," Granddad said, chuckling. "Sure, put them up there." Tyler began putting the clumps of paper out of the box. He pulled off the paper off bright, shiny statues and began arranging them on the shelf. Mona came over to help, her face still hot. Tyler dropped a wad of paper on the floor, and I shook myself and jumped down from the bed. Granddad's room had carpet on the floor, and it felt rough and prickly against my sore feet. I shook them out, one after another, but it didn't help much. "Oh, Toby, what are you doing?" Mona laughed. "You look so funny." Even though my feet were bothering me, the crunchy, rustling paper was so interesting, I put that aside for a moment. The paper didn't need to be chased. It just laid there, still. Those noises it made? Exciting. I stalked toward a clump, crouched low, paused to make sure it wasn't about to run away, and I leaped. Once I had my teeth in the paper, I shook it hard, and it made more of that noise. I growled to show who was boss. Tyler and Mona laughed. Granddad chuckled. "Tyler's going to be a rock star, too," he told Mona, following in his grandfather's track shoes. "Yeah, well," Tyler's voice trailed away as the woman came into the room, wearing jeans and a jacket. "Dad, how about heading down to the cafeteria for lunch?" she asked. Sure thing. Hey, this lovely young lady is helping with my new trophies is Mona. She's a dog trainer, so I hear." "Hi," Mona mumbled. "Well, nice to meet you." The woman went to a sort of metal cage that was against the wall and brought it over to the bed for Granddad. I had started to learn that people in my new home leaned on these cages sometimes as they walked, but they could go in and out of the cages as they pleased, so the cages were not like the pen where I once lived with my mother. People, I was always starting to learn, can do many things that dogs cannot. "Well, just finish up the trophies," Tyler said. "I'll come after you in a minute." The woman and Granddad left the room. I stayed with Tyler and Mona and the paper balls. "So you run too?" Mona asked, setting the last trophy in its place. Wrestling with the papers had tired me out. I plopped down on the floor. It was a relief to get my itchy paws off of that prickly carpet. I didn't have the energy to chew on them at the moment. I closed my eyes again. "Yeah, kind of." Tyler sounded worried. I opened one eye for a quick peek at him, but I could not see any threat, so I closed it again. "The thing is, I'm not good at it, really," Tyler went on. "I get tired so quickly, but Granddad likes the idea of me running, so I don't really tell him. Anyway, you want to come to lunch with us?" Maybe another time." I felt Mona reach down and scoop me up. I didn't even open my eyes as I snuggled deeper into the warmth of her soft t-shirt. "Toby's so calm right now. There's someplace I want to take him. I'll see you later, okay?" Mona carried me out into the hallway, where she went one way and Tyler walked off in the other direction. I drifted off to sleep as she carried me, and stirred when I could tell that she had stopped moving. "Toby, wake up, little guy," she whispered to me. I could smell that we were in a different part of my home, a place I had not yet explored. Everything here was very quiet. When I opened my eyes, I could see that there were no people in chairs sitting in the hallways. Nobody was walking around, using the metal cages or the long sticks they called canes. There was new smell in the air. My nose twitched. I did not know what this smell was, but it was different from anything else I had ever encountered. It did not smell delicious, like something to eat. It did not smell harsh enough to make my nose sting, like the water that people used here to wash the floors. It did not smell as if it needed digging, like the dirt and the grass outside, or it needed to be chased, like other furry animals. It smelled quiet. That was all I could think of, and that quiet smell was all around. "This is the hospice wing," Mona told me. Her voice was quiet, too. She began walking up and down the hallway with me. Sometimes we passed open doors, and each room had a bed. People were lying in some of the beds, and they were very quiet, too. "People come here when it's their time, Toby," Mona told me. "My mom explained it to me. It's not as sad as you think, really. It's a peaceful place. Families can be together while they're waiting for the end." She walked a little while I lay in her arms. "I just wanted you to see this, to start getting you used to it. You're going to do good work here, Toby. I know it. Mona told me." She kissed the top of my head. "It's not just how calm you are. It's the way you love people. You love everybody you meet, and that's what the people here need." I yawned. "Sleepy little puppy," she hugged me. "Okay, I'll take you back to your bed." The bed that Mona carried me to was a round cushion in a small room near the front desk. There were shelves in that room with boxes and containers on them, and people came in and out of that all day to get what they needed. There was a bowl of water there, too, and another for food, and Mona would make sure that they were both filled up before she rubbed behind my ears and kissed me and went away for the night. That was the strange thing, though. She always went away for the night. As my new home grew quiet around me, someone would turn out the light in my little room, and I would lie there in the dark, wondering where Mona had gone. What about her mother, Patsy? What about the new boy, Tyler, and Granddad, or even Fran, who sometimes frowned at me and almost never smiled? With no people and no treats and no fascinating new smells to distract me, this was the time when my feet itched the most. I lay in my bed and I gnawed at them as I thought about all the people I had met in my new home. Which one did I belong to? Who was my new human family? At first I thought I belonged with Mona and her mother, Patsy. That seemed to make sense. They were the ones who'd taken me away from the ranch and my mother. They spent the most time with me, and I had always felt loved in their hands and heard in their voices. But they went away and left me at nighttime, and I was sure that a family was not supposed to do that. What about all the other people? What about Tyler and Granddad? What about Fran? Did I belong to them? I lay in the dark and I thought, and I couldn't understand. Night after night, I chewed harder and harder, nibbling on the tough, leathery pads of my feet, tugging with my teeth at the tufts of the hair that grew beneath my toes. It didn't make the itching go away, but I couldn't stop. One night, a few days after Mona had taken me on a visit to the quiet place, I chewed so hard that I tasted blood. Now my feet didn't just itch, they hurt, but I still couldn't stop my teeth from gnawing on them. Blood dribbled onto the pillow that I slept on, and I wondered if Mona or Patsy or Tyler would be angry about that. People didn't seem to like things that spilled on the floor. Every time I left a puddle, someone would fuss over it and come and wipe it up and hustle me outside. But no one was here to do that now. I wish my mother were nearby to curl up around me. I wish Mona were here, with her gentle hands, or Patsy or Tyler. I wished I were not alone. I whimpered a little bit, but no one was there to hear me. Oh, Toby's does not understand where he's at. He's just still trying to figure it out too. And what's going on with his feet? He's chewing his feet so bad that his feet are bleeding. Oh, what do you think's going to happen next? Do you think they're going to figure out what's wrong with his feet? Do you think Toby's going to be a good boy and make lots of new friends? Check in next time to find out.